That's all I got. What is it? That's the only one I can remember. I used to have like a whole. What about you? What's your? It has to be a cow joke.
What? Tyler,
No
what is it?
cow joke. You guys, the first two rows. I know some of you go to the academy, but this is the first two up here.
Yeah.
Ty has a cow joke.
Yikes. Yeah, guys, seriously, all the way up though. I said first two rows.
What do you call a cow with 3 legs?
What?
A lean beef?
Lead beef, let's go. 2 rows. 2, 1, 2, 1, 2.
You have a cow
2
joke?
rows.
No,
Yeah.
only
Come on
cow
up here.
jokes.
Come on up here.
It has to be cow
James.
jokes. Cow jokes.
It has to be cow.
Cow jokes.
Nope. Cow jokes. Must only be cow jokes. No, you got to sit on the first 2 rows. 1, 2. 1, 2. You got a cow joke? Okay.
What do you call one herd of purple cows?
What?
Medium rare.
Rare. 1 herd of purple cows. It's only a little rare. Just a little. Yeah, because if there's a lot of purple cows, that'd be pretty rare. But if it's just 1 purple cow, it's just a medium rare.
That went over my head.
Yeah, that's what I had to explain it to you.
Thank you.
Cows are usually over our heads too. What's up, man?
Are you going to answer some of these questions? Because there's some hard ones.
I think you gotta be an adult though. You gotta get a little bit more life on experience. You know what I'm saying?
I think right
I'll
there's
bet-
a scene
but
for
you
you,
could-
man. This.
Yeah.
You can sit over there.
Oh, also, look back. That guy in the orange hat, his name is Ty. Ty, what are you doing here? Hey, so Ty's going to be chilling with us for the summer. It's going to be dope. He's an intern, but he's more than an intern in our hearts, you know what I'm saying? An intern, that's a good question. Intern is someone who really likes
labor.
youth ministry. Free labor. It's kind of free labor. We pay him by different things, just not money. So love and support, occasional food. Yeah.
Your payment is in heaven.
Oh,
Storehouse
that's
is
true.
in heaven.
All right, Ebenezer, put the phone away. Unless you are texting me a question, which I can feel and see when you text me, you should not be having your phone on you, all right? So, you can text me anytime, bro. You got my number. It's right up there.
It's right up there. And big, bold, friendly letters.
So, friends, I'm going to zone us in. So, eyes up here, distractions away. This is the talking ball. It's going to make an Aaron Rodgers joke, but
Yeah.
it might break.
Probably better than you did.
That's okay. Okay, so I'm going to pray, and then we're going to zone in. We're going to talk about some stuff, all right? So, eyes closed. God, I just thank you for these dudes. I honestly thank you for the fun that we've had this year. I thank you for your word that continually gives us wisdom and perspective that we desperately need to hear, God. I ask that you would open this conversation up tonight, that you would allow us to be vulnerable and real and just have discussion that is insightful, that is real life, and that honors you, Lord. Thank you for making our bodies. Thank you for making sex. Thank you for making love and marriage, Lord. And so would you just inspire our conversation tonight? In your name I pray. Amen. Cool. So how this thing is going to work is I compiled a bunch of y'all's questions, which were really good. And we got some old people here that have lived a little bit of life that instead of me just telling you guys what's up, I want them to tell you what's up. So as we have, friends, these discussions, more questions and more thoughts might pop in your brain. That's great. You should text me those questions if you want to talk about other things, all right? And I will do the diligence of going through them. So as we're talking, feel free to do that. Otherwise, you got have your listening ears on, because these friends right here love y'all, and they want to speak some truth, all right? So the first question for you guys is, out of all the stuff we talked about during the series, what do you find the most interesting?
I mean, I'll give the quick synopsis. Yeah, you're right. You figured it out. I will. So the way that in the beginning God created all of us and created humanity, and so much of our lives still revolve around that reality. And it revolves around that reality and how we relate to each other, how we relate to the earth, how we relate to God, but also not just like in big broad like strokes. It also is really, it really gets into the details of how we relate to our spouse, to the people to the person that we marry, how we treat them. It's just, for me, and Jordan knows this, Zach knows this, Ty knows this. It's the basis of a lot of my faith in God, is like this whole creation story. And so, yeah, that's what I find the most interesting.
I think for me, if we're talking about this series specifically, I think the concept of like, in the beginning, the Adam and Eve had no shame, or they were shameless, and that idea is so strange. In like today, I think that there's just a lot of ways that shame is introduced into your lives, our lives, my life, and so the idea of like, what does it mean to live without shame, without, just living completely in communion with God in the beginning? Like, when we were just talking about that, I think that was one of the like cool concepts for me to just try to wrap my head around, because I don't think that I can fully understand on this side of heaven. But it was, hearing about it was new, or refreshed, I would say.
Yeah, and I think it's really interesting to think about shame in general. It's like shame doesn't just impact the way we like relate to like girls or whatever. It also like impacts the way we treat ourselves. Like, for example, right now this shirt is a little, just slightly too tight on me tonight, and I feel really uncomfortable. And that's because I'm like slightly ashamed of the way I look in it, right? And it like, shame impacts even the way that we carry ourselves. You notice how I'm like sitting up here with my arm across me? It's a very tangible way that shame has impacted who I am. And it's just a wild thought to think, oh, there is a reality in which I would not feel awkward like right now.
And I think another piece of that I find that I wrestle with often is like, I am often my own harshest critic. Absolutely. And so a lot of that is that I have my own, like, I am placing shame on myself, right? No one, like, there may be external, the world, or, work or whatever, may be like whispering, but at the end of the day, I am choosing to say that the thing that I did, or who I am, is not good enough, right? And that's like for me, that's like shame in myself, and like forgiving myself. Like, that concept is something that I wrestle with. And so the idea that like in the Garden of Eden with God, like, that wasn't there, and that's not how it's meant to be. So like, I thought that was really cool.
Preach. There's a series right there.
Can we ask you the question?
Ooh, yeah. I think the idea, you guys already talked about shame a little bit. I am intrigued by the flip of that God made us, like, kind of what Zach said, like, without shame. And then in the garden, like, Adam and Eve were experiencing perfect love, and were expressing perfect love. And as somebody who is married, that doesn't happen. Both my wife and I suck at doing that at different times. And so the idea of like that being perfect is intriguing. And that God's like desire for the rest of us throughout history is to like experience even a fraction of that. In the little fractions that I've experienced, that is so good that I can't even imagine like what perfect love and union would be like. So the tantalizing amazingness of the garden. So we're going to talk about dating, because y'all want to know about dating, so we're going to talk about it. First question, how old were you when you started dating, / when should we start dating?
All right, I'll take it first. I think when you should start dating, I think that's a conversation that you need to be. I think you have to understand it a little bit more, and be ready to and willing to have conversations. I think the easy answer is to say just like ask your parents or like talk to your parents. But I think the idea is that you have to be at a place that you are mature enough to have an actual conversation with your parents around what dating means and why. And I think that I think is that's a really important. Like I think sometimes parents will like give you an arbitrary like age, but I think really what I can't speak for your parents, but I think the hope is that you want to be able to have a good conversation around what dating means. And so that's when I would say for when you should. When I started dating, my first relationship was in college. I was a sophomore in college. So I was 19 or 20.
I would agree with you that you should, like, obviously you can start dating whenever you want, but if your parents are all like, actually you shouldn't date, or you're not like able to have a real conversation about dating with an adult, for an adult in your life, then you're probably just not ready, period. And also if your parents do give you an arbitrary age, because some parents do, you have to respect that. But you should definitely be able to converse about it in some sort of an intelligent way.
And I'll also say, since we're all friends here, and I know that you guys won't tell anyone.
Except for that guy over there.
Except for.
Yeah.
Are we putting a tie?
Yeah. No, the guy behind tie.
Double tie.
Yeah, you're right. No, sorry.
Oh, that's true. True.
Tyler is the older one.
So I will say that when my first official relationship was in college, I was talking to girls in high school, and let me tell you, it is not worth it because let me explain here. All right, so my parents never officially told me that it's like, all right, you're not allowed to date till college. I just never really asked. Like, I figured if I don't ask, then what are they going to do? But the idea was that I was having sort of a relationship with someone behind my parents' back, and that was not worth it. Not communicating with my family showed a level of immaturity that, and maybe some like fear and shame too, that I was like, oh, what are they going to say or whatever. And so there was a period of time that I was, going behind my parents' back, was not worth it. Ultimately, my parents found out because they will find out, and things were not great between me and my family, and
it was not because you were dating; it was because you lied, right?
Yeah,
because of the dishonesty.
Yes, for sure.
I started dating in high school. My dad was a pastor. Hey, we have very similar upbringings. I didn't ask. I just started dating someone. I've had a total of 3 girlfriends in my life. I know. I am married, yes. No, not at the same time. Yeah. Oh, yeah. See, I'm married. The first girl I started dating, we dated for 3 months, and I don't know, she was boring. Dude, I was 15. So, and then the second girl I dated for 2 years, and then thought I was gonna marry her. So I think we dated for 2 years. I was 15 and a half to 17 and a half, and then she cheated on me, and I was like, that ain't gonna work.
Does it maybe you were boring?
I was boring, yes. No, that's probably true, man. I was a pastor's kid. We weren't doing much. And then I dated Sarah, and I didn't date anybody really for real till college. So the other 2 girlfriends, I think I went over to, no, not practice. They were just I don't know, they weren't really anything quality in my life. Except, let me say this. They did teach me 2 things. One, be honest about your relationships, because my first relationship, very much like Zach, I just was I didn't tell my parents. They found out, and they got very angry, and they grounded me, and we were only allowed to talk on the phone 10 minutes a day, and obviously that's not that exciting. And then the second girlfriend, what I learned from her was that when you go super serious, super fast, and things are very physical between you and a girl, like, hold up, no, listen, this is important for you guys. It's gonna get weirder, don't worry.
We're gonna get real weird.
When things are really physical between you and a girl, but you don't have any maturity or emotional depth with that other person, and the only reason that you're together is because you make each other feel physically good, then it's destructive to both people. And so what I learned in that relationship was that you can't just like jump into a relationship because that girl makes you feel good. Like you should be attracted to the person you're dating or whatever, but like that shouldn't be the like main reason that you're dating them. And questions have to go through that text message situation.
If you don't have a phone, come whisper it in my ear.
Yeah.
Or borrow your friend's phone.
Whisper it in my ear, and I
Yeah.
will
And he'll
be
decide.
your mouth.
He'll decide. Or you can whisper it in Ty's ear.
Oh yeah, you can also
Or yeah,
borrow Ty's phone.
Ty will text you. Text for you. But yeah, then I started dating Sarah. That's my wife. I have 3 children with her. It's worked out pretty well.
That's fair.
That was a lot more than you probably wanted to know.
No.
Yeah.
I'm gonna flip the question on you guys real quick. Give me an example of something that would make someone not ready to date in your mind. Who's not ready to date? Ebenezer? Like, give me something about a person, either characteristic or a habit, that like would make somebody not ready to date. You know what I'm saying? What? Childish? Okay, flesh that out. What does childish mean? Somebody. Okay. That's fair. Let's go with Mr. Ryan. If they can't, ooh, that's,
Say more about that.
yes. Guys, this is actually really important. Shh, listen up.
Say more about that, Mr. Ryan. But like respect her mom, like what, like.
Yeah, are we good? Okay, cool. We good? We really good? There's this cool thing about women where, like, if you look around the world, we're around them already. And so the ways that you treat, or other people treat, like if we're talking about dudes, the ways that you treat just women in general, especially the ones that are close to you, like your moms, if someone can treat them well and are actually like loving them and listening to them and caring for them, that person is not childish, right? That person is ready to express their love to somebody else because you know that they're already doing that in their lives, right? If somebody, now every family is different, and so there's family dynamics to think about, right? But if you see somebody and they disrespect their mom, if they don't listen well, if they don't like care,
Or like yell at their sisters like aggressively for no reason,
Yeah.
or stuff like that.
yeah, just things like that are clearly childish, right? They're probably not ready to care truly about somebody else, right? If you can't do it with the people close to you, what makes you think you can do it with someone you're just meeting, right? Was there another question over here? Yeah. Oh, well, come up, whisper in my ear first. Yeah, that's another good point. Hold up. Because, like, when you go into a dating relationship, these 2 dudes will testify, there's a temptation to put so much of your identity and your worth in what someone else thinks about you, right? Actually, we all know that. That's not something unique to just romantic relationships. It just seems heightened in romantic relationships, right? So, if somebody else breaking up with you like tears you to your core in terms of like you don't know who you are anymore, then you are probably not ready. And guess what? It really hurts when that happens. So it's probably better to wait, I'm telling you, till you're ready to get rejected and not question all of who you are.
Yeah, I would say the second girl I dated, her name was Megan, and when she actually broke up with me, and then I found out she was cheating on me. It was a really complicated, messy thing. I was devastated, man.
Yeah.
Like I was 17 and a half, or I don't know, I was young and not emotionally ready to deal with the pain of what I at that time assumed was like the biggest loss anyone could ever experience, which I know now is not true, but like it broke me in my relationship with not just with girls, but also like my family and like dudes. It like broke my ability to trust and love people for a long time.
Yeah. The way that we handle romantic relationships affects like a bunch of other things in life, right?
I'm going to add something too. I think to the point of like, when do you, like, who should date, shouldn't date, blah, blah, blah. I think there's a certain level of self-identity and self-awareness that you need to possess. You have to kind of understand who you are before you can bring yourself into a relationship with someone else. And the thing about self-identity and like figuring out who you are is that it's a journey that you can just keep working on. There's always more to learn about yourself. And so I think that that's like something that there has to be a certain level of self-identity that you already know and you're aware of so that you can go into a relationship. Otherwise, it's really easy then, especially once you enter a relationship, to then let your identity become that person or that relationship, and that's not good.
Yeah.
This chair's really uncomfortable.
No.
I can't sit in it
You're
any
good.
longer. It's like killing me.
I'm not sure exactly what the question was because I don't think I got it. But was it about Nick's second? Yeah, go for it.
Sure.
Have you seen
I
Nick,
mean-
bro?
I mean,
Have you
I'm not-
seen Nick?
I mean, like, of
course.
I'm a pretty good looking dude, so yeah, of course. I thought so. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, guys. I have a type. Like, she was kind of a short redhead. And if you've ever met Sarah, she's kind of a short redhead. So, yeah, I thought so. Sure. Why does that matter? I don't know. It's one. Yeah. This is much more comfortable.
Yes.
My back was getting all sweaty, like gross sweaty in that. Yeah. It was like. Yeah,
Yo,
anyways.
actually, speaking of sweat, real quick story about me sweating and dating. Yeah, hold up. So,
Excellent segue.
yes. So, in college, I mean, I was still a bigger guy. I was actually more fit in college. I need to work on that, but COVID, y'all, just kill all momentum. Basically, I would wear, in college, well, you don't know because you're not there yet. In college, there comes a point where you don't care how you look on campus because you're so done with, like, working your butt off that you just, like, I don't care. Yeah. So anyways, I was in the talking phase with my now wife. We weren't dating at this point. And we were hanging out at this place called a Union where you kind of hang out and do a bunch of different things. And so there was sports there, actually. But I was wearing these, like, really, like, long sweatpants and sweatshirt, and it was like 60 degrees outside, and I walked across campus to be with her because I liked her, and I was like, I'm going to do anything to be with you, right? So I did that, and I was so sweaty by the time that I got there that she just called me out. I was like, you are disgusting. I don't want to be by you. She didn't use those words, but she said, like, you need to work on your sweat game. And so the time that I saw her next, I had deodorant it up like 3 times. I was wearing properly ventilated shorts. It was a good deal. And she noticed that. So here's the moral of the lesson. When a lady tells you to change something, you do it. And when you do it, if they're insightful and they actually care about what you think, they'll... There's a line to that too. But the
General
way...
of a statement. You need
Yes.
to.
Sweat can be a negative thing unless it's like burning calories. But
For 100%, like, dudes, like, let's just be honest with each other. Some of you have not experienced the beautiful coming thing of puberty, and some of you have. But on this side of puberty, most of us will sweat gross, even if we're not trying. And you just need to learn to take care of your bodies. I know all of you feel really awkward about what I just said, and that's okay. I will say one thing. about what he just said, because I could disagree with him a little bit. But no, I think it's okay. Like, if the lady that you like is like, hey, you smell, please take care of that, that's fine. But if she's like, hey, I don't like that you, like, love Jesus this way, or is asking you to change, like, a core part of your personality, which being sweaty should not be a core part of your personality, then you should really take a moment to think about, hey, is this person looking out for themselves or for me? Like, what's going on here? Obviously, Bonnie, at that point, probably already loved him and didn't maybe realize 100%, but was looking out for him. But it wasn't like a thing where, like, she was like, hey, you need to, like, stop worshiping Jesus, or you need to, like, be drunk all the time. Or, like, she wasn't asking you to, like, change, like, the good things about you, or asking you to do things you shouldn't do.
I think, yeah, to that. There's also, I think with the example that we're using is like, in Jordan's case, it was Bonnie, his wife. I think that in general, there's a distinction between people making you aware of something that you were not aware of before. And then there's a moment when something is brought up that is uncomfortable. It usually sucks because you're like, why didn't I think of that before? It's like a blind spot in your life. It's a habit. Maybe it's something simple like how you say a word, right? Yeah, it could be something small like that, but it's when someone brings it up that you have not ever thought of that before, it's uncomfortable usually. You feel like you kind of want to like reject it because you didn't think about that first, right? But I would say take a moment, understand where that's coming from. Is it a blind spot because you just never thought about it and it's an area that you can improve? Or is it something that is part of who you are and that you should not change, right, to what Nick was saying? And I think it goes beyond romantic relationships. I think that having good friends around you to call you out on stuff or to be honest with you to say, hey, Timmy, blank, hey, Ty, either Ty, both ties, something, I noticed something in your life. And I think that having good friends who will lift you up and like say that here are areas that you can improve, that's really important. I think that in a romantic relationship, I think that's also important, is that
for sure.
In that situation, I would say Bonnie was highlighting something Jordan could improve on, right?
And she was looking out for him, though.
Exactly. Yeah. And so there needs to be a moment of process, I think. Don't just change because a girl told you to change.
Which, on a totally non-romantic note, is also like that core truth is also the same heart that, like, when we tell you guys to stop doing something or to start focusing on something, it's the same heart. Like, we don't want to tell you, we're not just telling you to do stuff or not do stuff because we're like rule followers. It's because we want you guys to like pay attention and not harm yourselves in this particular moment with rubber bands. But also, we want you guys to like have the opportunity to learn about God and to learn about really important things. So it's the same heart. We care about you guys. We want you to grow from that.
It does. You're right. It's not about rule followers. It's not about being a rule follower.
Yes.
It comes from a place of love.
Yes, actually the same as God.
Yeah.
Second question, off of that actually,
Timmy, are we taking fielding questions?
this is a fielded question.
Oh, okay.
Is it okay to have a crush?
Yeah. Okay.
Let's talk about it. Why is it okay to have a crush?
Well, can we just like, in a non-chaotic way, poll the audience about what a crush is? All right. Ty, how would you just like real quickly describe it? What would you say a crush is? A person you feel romantically attracted to. That's good. That's good. Yeah. What you got? Right. Nope. Well, okay. I think we'll just use Ty's great definition. It's a person that you feel romantically attracted to. You think this girl is cute, like, or pretty, or like whatever adjective you enjoy, and like you want to like get to know her better. You want to be like around her. You want to kind of know her friends and like what she does a little better. Like, I think if you can do that and it not become an obsession where that's all you think about, that's all you dream about, that's all you want, then yeah, I think that's fine. I think that it's okay to have a crush when it is in a healthy way. If it's an obsessive, stalky, like I'm on her Insta all the time, seeing where she's at, showing up at different places. Hey guys, people do it all the time. That's not okay. That is a line that you have crossed. But if you're like, hey, yeah, I want to get to know this person. I mean, that's like, I had a crush on Sarah. It's what led me to be like, hey, I want to get to know you. I'm assuming that's what happened with you and Bonnie.
Oh, yes.
And like, that's a normal thing, and that's like fine. I don't know.
Me? What's my thought on crushes?
Who are you crushing on right now?
I think that crushes are normal. I think it's good to understand why you're crushing on someone. That's a good thing to be asking yourself. Is like, is it just because she's hot, or is it because she loves Jesus and I love the way that she loves Jesus? So I think that asking that is good, and I think it's honestly, crushes are also a great opportunity to try and get to know somebody and establish relationship further.
Can I ask a question to your statement?
Sure.
Like, can you have a crush on someone because you're really attracted to them and you think they're hot? Is that bad? This is a question to you two.
Yeah. I don't think that it's. I think there's a line where you have to be careful if that's where you're starting in your relationship, is that I'm physically attracted to someone like similar to what you were talking about earlier with your second relationship, where you're just like getting physical very quickly, whatever. Like, I think that a physical attraction can lead down that path if you don't take the time to develop the full relationship.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Tyler?
I'm not going to comment on that. But I mean, he's right. But no, I think but to his point, and to Zach's point, and I was just like poking the bear. I agree with them both. Like, if you're really just going after crushing on someone just because they're like really attractive, and you have no idea who they are beyond what they look like, and that's the only reason you're going after this person, then more than likely you're going to not find what you want if your first, and only reason to crush on someone is because they're pretty. It's got to be deeper than that. That's, yeah.
But yeah, using it as a starting point to
it's
develop a
normal.
relationship, isn't.
Yeah, there's got to be some kind of spark. You don't just I'm going to marry you, random woman who I don't know and don't even think that's pretty. That's just not going to work. Yeah, that's not going to happen.
The one way to think about it, Miles, you want to stand up? Because you got a rubber band, and I need a rubber band. So, it's a broken rubber. Well, I guess that still works. Hey.
How many more rubber bands does he have? Check his pockets. Check his pockets. How many rubber bands?
No, we got one here. Tohan can be my rubber band leader or provider later. But for now, basically, if you just go off of looks, like we said, there is a chance that you're gonna get hurt, and that's gonna be super awkward, especially along the road. So come up here. So Miles is the better looking one of both of us. So he's gonna represent looks. I'm gonna represent emotions and relationships. So the friend side of it, you know what I'm saying? So in an ideal relationship, both the physical intimacy, so the looks part of it, and the relational side. If we want to walk towards Zach, who is marriage, we need to walk at the same pace, right? So walk, we're good, we're good, we're good, we're good, we're good. And then, then there you go. And the rubber band's still intact, right?
I know.
What happens often, though, and I promise I won't break it, because I saw y'all doing it before, is that say, like, you only like a girl because she's really hot, and you only want to pursue the physical side of it, right? What happens is the physical side starts to walk to Zach, so walk to Zach, and I stand here, and it just broke. Yeah. So there you go. You can sit down. So I was gonna say that was actually by accident, but that is how fragile things can be sometimes. So the point is,
Also get better rubber bands, bro.
yeah, there's a reality in which, like, if you only pursue someone for looks and you only want to have sex with them, frankly, you're gonna start walking. I just said what I said. You're gonna start to, like, walk down one side, but you're gonna experience, like, brokenness if you never actually get to know them more and you don't actually do the proper steps to, like, get ready to marriage, which is actually the next question. How do you know you're ready to get married? Oh wait, yeah.
If anyone knows the answer, let me know.
Guys, I'm trying to listen. Okay. So the question was, how do you know, now rephrase it if I'm not right, how do you know how public or private to be with a relationship?
How what?
How public or private to be with a relationship?
Well, if you feel like you gotta hide it, you probably shouldn't need it. Get it, have it. Like, God created us to be in community with each other and with the Christian, with everybody. And if your first instinct with the relationship is like, I got to keep this secret, then you need to question the motives for being in that relationship. If your community is telling you, your friends, your family, your parents, your church is saying, hey, you're not ready to be in that relationship and you're just going to hide it, you need to check your motives. I think that there may be some circumstances that would apply probably to none of you, in which a relationship maybe needs to be kept on the down low. But if it's completely secret, then maybe that's a problem. I think that, if there are, okay, for instance, you go to school, right? And there are two teachers that are dating each other, okay? And it's like honestly, and the reality is, it's none of your guys' business as students there. It's none of your business, right? But, like, if they're hiding it from, like, their family and their parents because they're ashamed of it, then that's a problem. But if they're, like, keeping it a secret because it's none of your business as their students, then that's their issue, and you need to let it go. Any other thing you guys want to add to that?
Yeah, I think there's another side to, like, the public-private, and I think especially, like, as you guys are getting a little older, and whatever you're, like, whether you're allowed to date or not, if you do, I think, or you see some of your friends dating, for example, that's, as you get older, this will become more and more common, but there are relationships that are inward-facing and relationships that are outward-facing. Like, what do I mean by that? I think that there are some relationships, I don't know if you guys have seen this yet, but, like, once you get into a relationship, it's only about these two people, and they just push away all of their other friends. They, like, become this bubble where no one wants to really be with them because they're just annoying or something, between the two of them in their relationship.
Well, they don't talk to other people.
They don't talk to other people.
Yeah.
They like completely forget or ignore all their other friends. And I would say that that's not super healthy. And so then there are other relationships that are like the two of them are together, but they also, like, invite their friends to be a part of it and be a part of the community in a healthy way of, like, what I was talking about, having friends around you who are going to call you out and call, like, both of you out in a relationship. It's really important to have those people around you and to keep those people around you even as you start a relationship or whatnot.
The other thing to that, before the next question, is that brings up the question of like, who are the voices that you care about and trust, right? Like if somebody that you care about, like hopefully you value our voices enough to hear what we're saying, right? So if we come to let's pick on someone not Ty. If we come to Harrison and Harrison's in a relationship and we're like, bro, that girl does not love the Lord. She is not helping you grow closer to the Lord. Like,
It's because
you can
Harrison
stop
plays
giving him crap
keys.
now,
He's on the
Calvin.
worship team, that's why.
Yeah. Calvin, thank you. We would love for you guys to trust us enough where Harrison would take that and really consider what we're saying, right? It doesn't have to be us. We want to be those people for you. But the like private versus public relationship has to do with like whose voices do you trust and are you actually going to listen to it, right?
I mean, you don't got to throw it out on your socials. That's not
Yeah.
a requirement. But if you're hiding it from the people that you trust, then that's a problem.
Yeah. The other side, and maybe you guys talked about it when I was getting another question, is like if you're in a relationship for only the public side of it, that's
a good
wrong
one.
too.
Appreciate good work.
Because like, let me tell you, like when
clout.
when I started feeling the urges to date, you know what I'm saying?
I don't know if they do.
Oh, well, you will if you don't know what I'm talking about. You will. Like, there's a lot of reality where I just want to date in high school because it was cool. Like, because I felt socially insignificant if I was not dating somebody.
Can we pull the audience
Yeah.
on that? How many of you guys feel that like you should be dating?
Raise the hands.
Like, and we're not going to judge you. Like, it's a reality in a lot of schools that like, I'm not like fifth grade. You in fifth grade, you better have a girlfriend. And it's wild. It's wild.
Y'all, and I went here. So, like, you would think that in a Christian environment it would be a little less bad, but that's not how it was.
Bro, it's
right?
almost worse here.
Yeah. There's some layers there. Okay, no, I got one more question, and then we actually have to end. So the girls can basically come up. Last question is actually for Ty. Can you explain what you meant, the older Tyler, Ty Buck, the son of Buck, Taiwan. The question is, can you explain what you meant by I've dated too many times?
So, in high school, I was a three-sport varsity athlete. Wrestling, lacrosse, and football. And so, as a high schooler, that gets attention of girls, and I like that because I didn't have a great self-image when I was younger. That's why I started working out a lot more, going to the gym a lot more. But having the attention of girls was like a confident boost for me to say. So I guess you could call me a player. I have
Used to be a player.
used to be a player. I would hop around from relationship to relationship constantly, and it wasn't the best for me, and it wasn't the best for my mental health, because in a relationship you're supposed to give your all and focus on building a connection with the other person. But you also need to focus on yourself too. And I never focused on myself, and I let it get out of hand. So my mental health kind of went downhill from there. When it comes to relationships, you need to be in the right place so they can be in the right place too.
That's a good word.
Yeah, Ty.
There,
They grow so fast.
yes. There is, that could be a lot more of a conversation, right? Because in one way, friends, like nobody will ever be perfect, right? So if you are going to the world and A, you think you're perfect, or B, you're looking for someone who's perfect, that's never gonna, you're never gonna find it, right? On the other side, and this goes back to the original, the question we just talked about, like if you are only dating for someone else's validity or like approval of you, that probably means that you and it's going to sound harsh, but I've experienced this. Yeah, it means that you don't prove yourself. And what I really mean by that is you don't believe that God loves you the way that you are. And that I still struggle with sometimes, right? But sometimes we can look to others in romantic relationships to try to get that approval that we want from that God already gives us. We just have a hard time believing it. And sometimes we search for approval from other people that we never got, right? Like some of us had really hard relationships with our parents, and sometimes we didn't get the love and approval that we desired or maybe needed, right? And so we can easily look to other people in romantic senses to try to get that, right? So I know that's probably a lot to think about in the dating world, but I hope that like that conversation gave us a picture of like the things that we should be thinking about before we just jump into dating, right? And hopefully keep us from some heartbreak. But when heartbreak happens, to hopefully ensure that like you guys still know that you are loved and cared for by us, by the God, and that your value doesn't hinge on if you're dating someone or not. It's actually quite not true. So, with that, I'm going to pray, and then we can chill and welcome the girls back whenever they come up. So, guys, we're going to talk to God. Gentlemen, thank you. God's more important than our banter. God, I do thank you for these dudes. I thank you for the honest conversations that we've had. I thank you for creating us in such a way that we have natural desires to love and serve other people. God, I ask that you would just push on us in the ways that you want us to learn how to love people better. Would you give us the strength to not date because we need to feel socially accepted or because we think it's the cool thing to do, Lord? And would you teach us in this space, in our group, how to fall more in love with you and support and love each other better, Lord? In your name I pray, amen. Hold up. Couple things. One, the granola bars are not free for all. We have to save them for other weeks. I have one in my pocket, all right? So Zach's going to protect the granola bars. Hold up, sit down. Guys, I said a couple things. We're not done. Sit your butts down. Darius, go sit back down. I love you, but you got to sit down. This, you'll be happy for me to remind you, sit all the way down, guys. Thank you. Next week, we're chilling. We're eating a bunch of food. Well, you're going to be across the world, so I'm kind of jealous. So, but here's the deal. Here's the deal. Church is only going to provide a main course, like a food, like a meat it'll be in some form, all right? Your job is to bring something else. If you want to eat something else besides a form of meat, that is up for you to bring, all right? That, bring like a live chicken, a cow, or maybe something easier like chips or drinks or like brownies or like mac and cheese. Potato salad. Greens, beans, tomatoes, potatoes, yams, lambs. I forgot what's after that. But bring all that. Okay. Now, I love you guys and I'll see you later.